let's see, one phone call one day and I don't have to get aggravated? That's a win. Call the Brian Leakins Agency. You can look them up at LoganvilleInsurance.com. It's a game changer.
Can you tell me how to get to the
Pampered puppy? That's where my dog wants to be. To go get so fresh and clean.
Pampered puppy.
So clean, that's where the puppy wants to be. At the best groomer in the town. It's the Pampered Puppy.
Pampered puppy.
It's 2018, y'all. Don't you know smoking's bad for you? You need to go check out my buddies down there at Raging Vapors. They're located in Loganville and as well as in Grayson. They have a very clean establishment, and trust me, if I'm going to put some of that stuff to my lungs, I think that's the way to go, right? It's 2018. Aren't we smarter? Smoking is not cool anymore, y'all. Raging Vapors is a very nice place. They mix up their own vapes. They are regulated by the government. The place is super clean. Raging Vapors is the place to go. Do it the right way and see the right people. And I believe Raging Vapors are the right people.
Hey everyone, this is Redneck Step. Have you heard about Unique Funding? They're in the business to help people get out of those high-interest title ponds. It's sad how many people have been put in this position. I myself have fallen victim to this. If you currently have a title pond and you're not happy with your interest rate, then Unique is who you need. They are paying off high interest rate loans and rewriting theirs at a much lower interest rate. Everyone hates to see someone struggle financially, and losing your car or continue to pay out high interest rate, Unique Funding would like to help coach people financially and help them do better with their money. Once they pay off your loan and are able to rewrite it at a much lower interest rate, your loan will be paid off faster while keeping your payments the same. The staff would like to work with people and listen to their needs. Custom deals can be made to fit almost anyone's pay schedule. Be more than just unique and go see Unique Funding. Let them help you help yourself.
And breathe, just breathe. Oh, breathe, just breathe. Well,
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It is Thursday, September 19th. Whoop, whoop.
That wasn't planned.
That was perfect.
That wasn't planned.
So sorry we're late. It was my fault.
It's her fault.
Got a new car today, and from Cobb Luxury Cars. They are amazing.
Go
Absolutely
there.
amazing. Shout out to my friend Rick Miles. He really hooked me up, and it's so beautiful, and I couldn't be happier. But sorry, I'm late.
So that's where I'm going to get my next car. So
Yes, and all of you all should as well, please.
that's awesome. Now I'm just trying to get my stuff together over
Yeah,
here.
me too. I'm just little
Get it
discombobulated.
together. Little just disjointed over here. Before we even begin, so I don't know if you guys remember a couple of shows ago, two? Was it two?
Yeah, 2 or 3. It was last week, right?
So when we all did this practice where Chrissy kind of walked us through kind of envisioning something in our manifesting something in our mind. So she gave you something that you had like something you could touch.
Mhm.
Was it whatever?
It was just something you don't have an
Explain it.
attachment to.
Yes.
Yes,
And
something
so
simple.
if y'all remember, she had feathers. Her little
Okay.
feather over here. She
Yes.
brought that box of feathers. And I said marbles. I love marbles. They're beautiful, round, and many colored. And
Beautiful.
they are. And I didn't see mine, and I was kind of upset about it. I was like, because I'm wanting all of these things, these big audacious dreams I have to manifest. And so yesterday I was at the Covington Women's Club, where I am a member, and we were doing a service project. So we were putting together sensory bottles for the self-contained classes in Newton County. And I'm just looking through all the materials. There's tons of sequins and army men and hand sanitizer. And then there were these bags of marbles just sitting there. And I was like, there are my marbles.
There they are.
There they are. So here they are. I took 2 of them.
Yay.
I'm going to get myself a really nice little felt velvet bag, and I'm going to start carrying around marbles with me.
Yes, it's a good
So-
reminder
Yeah,
that you are so powerful.
I am so powerful.
Yes, you created that.
I did. I brought that into existence.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to prove that, it's real, folks. It's real. I mean, it's happening in my life more than just marbles, of course, but you just have to speak it into existence. And it's
Mhm.
funny because I shared on my private page, which if you guys aren't friends with me, you should be because I'm very positive. Um, I don't like put on makeup or whatever in front of my bathroom mirror. My bathroom mirror is reserved for when I wake up in the morning. I look at it and it's written with just tons of sentiments, Bible verses, phrases that I love, words that are positive for me. So positive self-talk. It has things like be brave and be human and be the change, be the light. He's with me, and just things that I know will get me going for the day, and I read them to myself every single day. It is so important to have that positive
Yes,
thing right
absolutely.
right first thing in the morning. I'm sure that people come over and they're like, "What is this?" Like they go in my bathroom and they're like, "All right," because it's literally covered.
That's amazing. I love that. When I was a little girl, I did that. Not a little girl, like a teenager,
She
preteen
just
to.
told me I needed to grow up. You
I was
need
gonna say that I want to do it again. Anyway, I had my whole room like covered in quotes. Like it was
yes.
so beautiful, and I remember, and they're kind of like ironic now. They weren't as spiritual. Wasn't spiritual then, They were kind of, I don't know,
Were they
party-ish,
lyrics to Nirvana
But
songs?
yes, a lot of that. But one of my favorite ones was "Instant gratification takes too long." And it kind of was like the epitome of who I was as like a young girl and a teenager and a young woman. I was just like,
Yeah.
I needed it now. I needed it yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
And now I find that there's just so much more beauty in the pause and the waiting and the patience and, really not settling, because I did that. I wanted instant gratification. So I
Right.
had to settle a lot for, what
Yeah.
was just presented to me instead of being discerning.
Whatever was right in front of your face.
Exactly.
Like that's my whole relationship
Yes. Yeah.
story.
Yes.
That's another show.
Yes. I want to say hi to Sonia. Thanks for tuning in, Sonia. You're awesome. And everybody else, of course. I'm sorry. I just hadn't said.
I'm sorry, my laptop's going crazy.
My
I
laptop
didn't
too.
put it on silent.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
And thanks everybody for sharing the show. We really appreciate it.
Yes, keep sharing.
Please keep sharing and liking.
And liking. You never know what message is going to reach someone that needs to hear it.
Exactly.
And the more that we share, and the more likes, and the broader reach that we can get, because this is something we both look forward to
So much.
immensely.
Yes.
Every week, it fills us up to
Mhm.
fill you up,
Yes.
and so it's important to share. Super important.
Oh, thank you. We got another share.
Thank you,
so much.
Jessica.
Very sweet. So today we do have some interesting topics. We're gonna, and if you don't know, I'm sure we've mentioned it, but September is Suicide Prevention Month.
Awareness.
Awareness prevention.
Awareness, prevention, whatever.
Okay, I don't know.
We're aware to prevent, and
We
prevent
want
to
to prevent
aware.
it, be aware of it. We
Oh,
want
that's
to do it
cool.
all.
Yeah.
Yes. So so we're going to talk about that today. And the things that go into that bullying. I mean, I know
Bullying.
something was said to me once, and it was so poignant. It was about how being suicidal is very, very broad, actually. It's doing things like even smoking cigarettes, like,
You're
the
slowly
end.
killing
Exactly.
yourself.
It's kind of just like you're doing like this disservice to yourself that kid has the potential to kill you, and you knowingly do it. I don't know. When I heard that, it really,
to feed that void,
yes.
to fill that hole in your
Mhm.
soul. We're just
Yep.
putting toxins in our body
Exactly.
constantly.
And just that, and smoking was a good, but it was even like, maybe not wearing your seatbelt or, things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean, we grew up like
Oh, I
we
mean, I
didn't have
never,
a seatbelt on. We rode in
yeah.
the back of the truck.
I mean, I was in
and,
the back, like face pressed up to the glass,
The 80s were fun, man. They were fun.
Awesome. And we are also on YouTube if you want to check us out there.
YouTube
Woohoo!
for you YouTubers out there.
Worldwide. Well,
Almost.
yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Don't doubt us. We'll get there.
Don't you doubt us.
So we're going to have someone that's near and dear to my heart. Her name is Tina Lynn. And I tried to facilitate. Well, I didn't try. I did. I put on a mental health event on our downtown square a couple of years back, with some help from a lot of community partners. And I had someone reach out to me all the way from Massachusetts, and she said, me and my son will drive all the way down there to support you. Because I had been kind of chronicling Kaylee's journey after she tried to commit suicide, and it was just, God put it on my heart then to start, never too late. And it's just now coming to fruition. But, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, you're going to drive all the way down here?
That's amazing.
And so her son is autistic. And and this is, it's going to go, whew, I get so emotional talking about this kind of stuff. But, he had been bullied. He's been through very, very much a similar adversity to Kaylee. And so he started his own nonprofit, anti-bullying nonprofit called Alex Michaels Saving Grace. So it's a whole foundation where he goes into his community, and they do events, they sell T-shirts, they
Beautiful.
speak out about it. And so this mother's love is just, I feel
Yes.
her on every level because she does everything she can to support
Mhm.
her son through it all. And it's just hard because he's still dealing with so much. Kids are mean. Adults are mean.
Right?
Adult, like, I don't understand.
I don't think you ever really escape that bullying.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
You
And,
really don't.
I told my kids from early on, because I went through it too. I mean, I know that's hard to believe. This is so cool. But,
It is hard.
but I did. I was bullied. But, I didn't have as much as the other kids growing up. And my parents, weren't like stellar figures in the community or whatever. And so, just mean girls stuff more so than anything else. But when I saw what my children were starting to go through, I was like, this is a whole new level of hate.
It is. It's out of control.
It's shocking, when you think about,
Mhm.
and I'll just say this, the teenage girls that are sending pictures of themselves that they shouldn't be sending to
Right,
boys,
right.
and then they airdrop it to the
Mhm.
whole entire school. And that's happening all the time, you guys. And
Ugh.
can you imagine what that does to that young lady? Yes, she shouldn't have done that, but he was pushing her to do it, and I'll be your boyfriend or
Right,
whatever,
right.
or nobody will see it. I won't show it to anyone, and then
And then it's
it's
everywhere.
airdropped to the entire school, and she can't even face her peers,
Ugh.
leading into mental health issues,
Right.
leading into addiction, leading into, it's
Exactly.
it's setting you up and paving the way for destruction.
It truly does. It truly does. Yeah. I mean, I remember in my high school, well, this wasn't even in high school. This was like in elementary school. In the 4th and 5th grade, there was this boy. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is.
You know who you are.
You know who you are, right? Oh, I
Are
mean.
you watching?
But
You better watch out.
he would follow me home and like say mean names to me. He would call me the N word, and he would just like throw rocks at me. And it was horrible. Like I just remember I didn't want to go to school. He was in my class. I would like tell on him all the time, and nothing really happened. My teacher actually got sick of me telling on him. He was like, well, make him stop.
Yeah, like do something.
And it just, nothing really ever came of it. And then, so that was like in 4th and 5th grade. And then, I don't know, he just stopped one day. He just stopped. And it was like, I think we were in the 10th grade. We had biology, and he sat right behind me. And I hadn't really seen him or spoke to him. And he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, Chrissy, I just want you to know I'm really sorry about how I treated you. He's like, I had a massive crush on you, and I didn't know how to handle it.
Boys.
And like this,
Can we
this
not do that
destroyed
anymore?
me. And I never tell my daughter, oh, he likes you. That's why because it sets him up. It's like a mind F,
Yeah.
Like, no, he should treat you with respect if he likes you.
Right.
If he's mean to you, kick him in the nuts. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
don't take shit from anybody.
That's why her daughter just got an incident report today, right before we started the show. No wonder.
she skinned her knee. But
Okay.
but seriously, don't. I don't want to perpetuate this this mindset that anybody's allowed to treat her any way other than absolutely wonderfully. That's not
Yeah.
a person you need to be with. If they like you, they're going to treat you badly.
And
I'm
that
not going to even
starts
start that.
That starts with the positive self-talk at home and
Mhm.
teaching your kids, that positive self-talk from an early age. What I was talking about earlier of all my affirmations and positive speak that's just, on my mirror, and I change it out whenever I feel like there's something more positive.
Right.
That starts in the home at a very early age. If we're giving our kids, we're feeding them nothing but the positive nutrients of life.
Right.
They're going to go out there and spread those seeds, they are.
Yeah.
It really does start with
Absolutely.
us. And this isn't coming from a perfect parent. Let me just tell you. I've learned a lot.
Mhm.
In parenting, I was talking to my mom earlier. We don't get a manual with these children.
No, golly, no.
You
And even
do.
if you did, you probably wouldn't follow it anyway.
No, I don't follow rules or manuals or whatever. I do things my own way and
Yes.
have to learn the hard way.
I do what I want.
I do what I want. But, and for us, bullying was so important to talk about because it parlays, it goes into mental health and
Mhm.
which goes over into addiction. And from a very early age, I'd really telling my kids, like, have a thick skin,
Right.
I don't want you tattling all the time, don't
Right.
be like that, like, don't be a punk,
Right.
But when I started to realize some of the things that were happening, especially with my oldest daughter being special needs, having traumatic brain injuries and not being on the same level as her peers, always being behind and younger and just sort of having outbursts or whatever. And, when she would come home and tell me about some of the things that they were doing, even at a very young age, I was just appalled. And as she got into her adolescent and preteen and then teenage years, I'm just be very honest and say something that it's hard for me to say, but all she ever wanted was to be accepted. Please
Mhm.
just accept me for how different I am. And there was this one incident where she was coerced into a boy's bathroom to perform oral sex on two young men. And she consented because they said, I'll be your friend, and
Yeah.
that's it's definitely a form of bullying. That's like the
Oh.
worst,
Mm.
And this was after she had kids telling her, you should just go kill yourself,
Mm.
your brain's all messed up or whatever. And then for her to do, and I remember getting that phone call and I'd gotten so many phone calls just, and I thought, oh my God, I was mortified. I was embarrassed. I've been super embarrassed of my child's behavior. I'm not that way anymore. I completely
Right.
look at it different, but that moment and then her having to go through she had to go through manifestation and tribunal, which is basically like court
Right.
in school at the Board of Education,
Mhm.
and just being treated at the same level as those individuals because the teachers were kind of told not to say that, her mental health disorder, well, not just her mental health disorder, but her medical disorder didn't have anything to do, like she was cognizant and knew what she was doing.
Right.
Well, she was, but she just wanted to be accepted. And, that whole barrier, right? Like, I was like, what? And then she
Mhm.
goes into an alternative school with these same two boys, mind you. And I'm thinking, this is, are you kidding me?
Ugh.
What's happening? And so, she just kept, like, this treatment happened over and over.
Mhm.
And she, when the good kids wouldn't accept her, she would go to the ones that could manipulate her and get her to do
Right.
scary things. And that led us down, I guess, basically to where we are here. I'm not
Mhm.
going to, say that bullying was all of it, but that huge part of feeling different and she couldn't do it
Right.
anymore. And that's when she tried to commit suicide.
Mhm.
And I've always tried to be an individual. Like, I love my uniqueness. I love that I'm not like anybody else, but I
Yes.
was ashamed of it for a long time too.
Well, we're kind of alike
you know,
in our uniqueness.
we are.
We're
So we
uniquely
get each
alike.
other. We're
Yeah.
uniquely alike.
Yes.
And I was so afraid to express that. Like, I didn't know, like, when I would try because my love of music is like overpowering.
Right.
And so I would try to like talk about music and lyrics and stuff. And some people would be like, okay, go sit down. But now, it kind of loving yourself, positive self speak, doing all those,
Yeah.
positive affirmations. And just, I'm like, well, this is who I am. If you don't like it, that's okay.
Right.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right?
Right. And when you try to please everybody, you don't please yourself. And
Exactly.
that's who you need to please is yourself.
Yes.
The only one I'm leaving this world with is me.
And whatever I left behind, I want to be, remembered because
Yeah.
I didn't do things like everyone else. Is that what we look? Do we look like that right now?
Is it paused?
I hope you
Technical
guys can see us.
difficulties. I think it's fine.
I don't know. Is it just us?
It's just
Can you guys see us?
I can
we
see us
frozen?
on my screen. I can see.
Oh, so I'm just.
Yeah.
I guess I should be looking at the screen. Hello. Oh,
It's fine. It's fine.
Ricky was just saying. Oh, where'd it go?
I'll get it back. Good on mine. So our friend Ricky Davis, he said, I spent most of my childhood hating who I was and how I looked because I was a black boy with very light skin. And most of my bullying came from people in my own family. I hated growing up being light skinned because of the torture I went through at school and within my family. And I just completely can relate. I think everyone can really just relate to being bullied. I don't think anybody really escapes it.
No, I think that
You
there's
know?
there's something we've all experienced it, whether it be, maybe you were the star athlete, the smartest kid in the class, or
Right.
whatever, and you didn't really experience a whole lot of it, or maybe you were the bullier, I don't know. But you experience it at some point in your life. At some point you are humbled in your
Yes.
in the workplace. You have a boss that's not so great and he's bullying you or she's bullying you or
Right.
whatever. We all experience it at some point. And like I said, I was trying to tell my kids, like, have thick skin, don't be a punk about it. Like,
Right.
snitches get stitches and end up in ditches. I did say that to my kids. Sorry, that I probably shouldn't have, but
Well,
that's who I was. I never expected for them to come home and say, I was told to kill myself today. I mean, you guys, like, ooh, what says that? And now it's so flippantly being used. And this is where I have to be careful with this threshold of, I've had some people reaching out to me about their kids ideating suicide or threatening suicide.
mhm.
And I remember when Kaylee used it sort of as a crutch, as a weapon against me,
Right.
and trying to differentiate between, is she serious or is she not? Like taking all the knives out of the house, scissors, anything sharp, anything that she could ingest, looking for sharp objects in places, and just, like, that's not a way to live, you guys. I don't know if any of you've ever had to do that, but it's not a fun way to live.
Not at all.
But it's just, you have to be really careful, because our kids are sort of using it now as leverage because it is getting a lot of attention.
And also, I think it's sometimes used as like a big joke. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I saw like a meme or something, and it was just like, I shocked my coworker because they were talking about something, and I was like, God, maybe I should just go kill myself. You know what I mean? We're saying
Yeah.
it flippantly, and
Where did
it's
we get to in that? And like
Yeah.
this comes from somebody that has like I'll joke around with the best of them, and my sense of humor is a little different from other
Mhm.
people's. But I don't know how our society got to that point to where we say to each other, the worst thing you could possibly say
right,
is go take your own life.
awful.
I'm telling you, I've had to be the one to wake up, and
Mhm.
it's in my family, my uncle committed suicide, and then to know that my daughter,
Mhm.
whoa, like this heavy stuff.
It really
Heavy
is
stuff for a Thursday, you guys. It really is. But just kind of wanting to touch on,
right.
I guess, a couple of statistics to kind of bring it kind of in your faces and bring it to light. The American Society for the Positive Care of Children are saying that at least 28% of U.S. students in grades 6 through 12 experienced bullying. And then 20% of students in grades 9 through 12 experienced bullying. 30% of young people admit to bullying others in surveys. But then 70.6% of young people say they have seen bullying in their schools and they don't say anything about it. 70.4% of school staff have seen bullying. 62% witnessed bullying 2 or more times in the last month, and 41% witnessed bullying once a week or more. When bystanders intervene, bullying stops within 10 seconds, 57% of the time.
Wow.
And so, you never want to be that person, right?
Right.
You think, well, they'll take care of it, or I don't, just turn a blind eye. I mean, and that's what's in part gotten us where we're at now as a society, is we
Yeah.
just keep turning a blind eye to the things that we should be stepping up and speaking out on. I've done it myself. I'm a guilty party of, there were so many things that I wish I would have reacted to that needed my attention, but just to save face,
Right.
I didn't. And that's why, my cause is so important to me now, is for all the times that I didn't, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important to look at the people bullying, hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
So this goes a
Absolutely.
lot further than even, the people who are being bullied. And that we have to actually target it at the bullies. What can we do to help them? Because obviously it's
hmm
not coming from a place of love. They don't feel secure and they don't, what is their home life like? You know?
And that stems from, I can't remember who it was that was talking about, was that Melissa, who was saying, you know, her family was fine. It was, she had these negative self-image issues, these body
Right.
issues,
Right.
and that's what kind of led her towards drugs and addiction.
Right.
Same thing, with that bullying. There's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in high school, the first, you know, like dealing with suicide on that level. There was this girl that was cheerleader, super popular, super smart, wonderful parents, huge in her church, just sweet, sweet girl. Like you wanted to be her, right? She was the girl you wanted to be.
Right.
And she ended up, her parents went out of town and she shot herself.
Mm.
Still to this day, I have no idea why. And so we are all waging a war within ourselves. We are all battling
Absolutely.
with something and not feeling comfortable enough to tell
Mhm.
each other, I'm not okay.
Right. And all this, I mean, I think all this stems from the same monster. It's a lack of self love, addiction, bullying, the person bullying, which gives the person being bullied a lack of self love. It just like comes down the chain, um, and it really just we have to start loving ourselves first, and that's the
hmm
hardest part. Sometimes it's easy to give love to others, but we have to have it for ourselves. Absolutely have to have it for ourselves, or else all this is for nothing. It can, you know, and I've had experience with suicide attempts. I've had actually several in my lifetime, just because I just didn't value myself as a human being at all. I didn't think I didn't think I was attractive. I didn't think I was really
Isn't that so
worth.
crazy that because I look at you and I can't imagine. I've seen younger pictures of you too. You've
Mhm.
showed me, and you're gorgeous.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I think you've always been that beautiful human, and I have too. I mean,
Mhm.
except for the teenage middle school years when I was not
You
cute.
haven't seen every picture of me.
Mom,
Mullet.
the stuff that you did with my hair,
I know.
I don't understand.
That that's not my mom. My mom didn't do that to me. That was my grandmother.
this big feather. I don't.
Yeah, I had all this. It was
And the
short, so
perms,
short.
like your hair looks so great like that, right?
Thank you.
And when I wear mine naturally wavy, it's nice. But
So beautiful.
the perms, do you remember the perms?
Right. And it'd be all stringy.
And smelled really bad.
Oh, it smelled terrible.
Okay, we just went down a
Okay,
rabbit
sorry.
hole. But other than that,
Oh,
oh,
hello.
we have a caller.
Hello.
Hi, yes. This is Jamesia Claxton and Chancey Watkins calling from Viewpoint Health.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you doing?
Hi, we're good. How are you all?
We're wonderful. Thank you so much for calling in. We're live on the show. How are you
ladies.
doing?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. We were just talking kind of about bullying, and suicide prevention and awareness. And I don't think a lot of people even know that within Rockdale, Newton, and Gwinnett counties that we have this great resource that is affordable, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we are calling, and we are both licensed professional counselors with Viewpoint Health. And Viewpoint Health has different outpatient centers. And we have 2 outpatient centers right here, one in Newton County, as well as one in Rockdale County,
Mhm.
where anyone in the community can come to our office any day of the week, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 2 o'clock to be assessed and to get services. And the good thing about it is that we see clients even if they do not have the ability to pay for the services.
That is wonderful.
is so good to hear.
So good to hear. it really warms my heart. I love Viewpoint Health just because I was a patient there, and then I had the amazing opportunity to work there as well a few years later. And so y'all hold a special place in my heart.
Well, we appreciate that, and and for both that you allowed us to serve you at that time, and that you came back and provided services for others. That's full circle, and we really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We also want to commend you for what you do, because it is not easy work, and you receive
thankless
a
work.
lot
I'm sure
of flack.
Yes.
I know it's no system is perfectly designed, and there's holes in everything. So I know, you get a lot of flack for what you do, and I know that it takes a really special heart and a lot of courage. So we really appreciate what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it may not be easy for us, but we know it is well worth it, and that the community benefits from it. Those that live in our community, and we just want to make sure that everyone is aware that we are here and where we're located. And I know she did mention that we have open access where they can come in and have an assessment up until 2:00. But once they are linked up with our services, we are open until 5:00, and sometime later than that, depending on groups. So we do have a number of groups available for clients in the community that they can partake in with the different services that we offer.
Beautiful. Would you mind telling our audience just some of the services that you do offer specifically in Newton County? Like if somebody was coming in, let's say with like a suicidal ideation or some kind of mental health issue or a substance abuse issue, what could you provide for them?
Absolutely. So what we do under our umbrella, we have psychiatrists here, medical doctor psychiatrists. We have APRNs that are nurse practitioners. Our entire clinical team are licensed clinicians that can provide crisis assessment, comprehensive assessment, substance abuse assessment, where they can come and we can from the assessment be able to determine what services would best fit their need. We have individual, we have family, and we have groups. You mentioned about suicide-specific, and we have counselors that are trained in suicide-specific training where we can support them in that particular area. Also, before we get off the phone, I would like to make sure that they not only know that we are a resource, but we have a national suicide line. We have a crisis line that's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week Georgia Crisis Access Line number that can be available to them as well. But we do. So with our groups, we do assessments. If an individual is in the need of in crisis and has to go to a higher level of care, we're able to support them in making those referrals to a crisis stabilization program. If a person needs inpatient substance abuse treatment for like a 28-day treatment, we have that ability to make a referral for them to get that type of support. And one of the good things about it is that we have a step-down program where they can get supportive, it's called like a sober living residence, where they can transition from an inpatient to outpatient and live in sober living housing while they do so.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
And we know the most difficult part is stepping through that front door. And we have someone that will be waiting here to meet their needs. And we do take the time to see what level of care and what is the need for that particular person. Oftentimes it may be just someone to talk to, someone to listen to them, to know what's going on. Sometimes, life is very fluid and it has twists and turns. And oftentimes a person just needs someone just to sit down and just give them a sense of hope.
Right.
But oftentimes we do have to take them to that next level of care. And we do have centers and programs in place to help them with that. And once they come from that higher level of care, we're here for them when they step back down.
Right. That is fantastic.
You really focus on meeting people where they are, wherever they are in their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes, most
Beautiful.
definitely.
And you also have programs for adolescents, is that right?
Yes, we do. So we can treat clients or see individuals from the ages of 5 years old and up.
Wow.
And we have clinicians here that do focus on children and adolescents. services, we have a program that's called Seven Challenges, and that is a model that focuses on substance abuse for children and adolescents, for adolescent age.
Right.
We have a program also in Newton County called Strive Clubhouse, and that program is an after-school program that works with individuals and their families that's dealing with substance abuse or either mental health issues, behavioral health issues. Also, we have an APEX program, and so within the county of Newton, we have about 9 different schools where we have elementary, middle, and high school where we have a clinician that's in the school that's actually adding support to the school and helping the kids to be able to have that counselor if they need a counselor there. So it's a support to the school counselors as well as to the school to have another mental health provider in the school that can assist them.
Wow. That is fantastic. So many programs. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when we were there, y'all said you had something like 30 programs.
Right.
Was it more?
Viewpoint Health, yes, absolutely. We have about 32 different programs that
Wow.
covers, Rockdale, Newton, Gwinnett, and then we also have some programs that are in DeKalb County as well.
The only thing the
Fantastic.
individual just needs to step through our door, and we will link them up with services. We have it. It range from employment to substance to meeting the child with the Strive. And our Strive Clubhouse is a very great program
Yes.
to be connected up with.
And the ages for Strive is between 7 and 15.
Beautiful. How lovely. I mean, it's just so amazing to know that, somebody somewhere took the initiative and saw the need for this and brought it to Newton County and Rockdale County and Gwinnett. I mean, I think that that's amazing, And
Yes.
yes, absolutely. So
And
I
I
did, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just want to say we're still growing. We do
Yeah.
have, just want to mention to you, we have court programs where we are connected to Newton County courts, and we do provide resource court, drug court. We have treatment programs for resource court, drug court, veterans court, and mental health court.
Wow.
I have had the pleasure of sitting through a mental health resource court, and I love the way that it is ran. I love it. I want to be so a part of that and really see it from start to finish. But that program, it's doing big things. It
Absolutely.
really is, and it's something to be proud of.
Yes.
Trying to you were here. We met you here in this
Yep.
place that you were in, but where can we bring you out of that?
It adds such a level of compassion
It
to our
does.
court system, and I just think that that's so beautiful. Myself personally, being in the recovery community myself, I know several people who have gone through drug court and resource court, and how they. I've always seen just such gratitude when they finish the program and they want to stay clean. You know what I mean?
Right.
It like gives them this beautiful foundation
And
to.
we are
Mhm.
walk along with them on that journey because we do know it's not easy, but in the end, it is worth it.
So
So we
worth
walk
it.
along with them in that journey. We even have like a little graduation program for them where they had never graduated from anything, but we know the hard work it takes to get clean and remain clean. I mean, it affects not only that individual, but the family and the
Absolutely.
support system. So we invite the family to come in and partake in that celebration.
Yes, yes.
I
And
did love that, and I think there's
yes.
even outings that you guys, I guess the court system does. When I was in there, they were just talking about, because the judge was literally asking about family members by name,
Right.
saying that he saw them at some outing that they had all had, and I thought, my gosh, this is like a family, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely a partnership and a collaboration.
Wow.
It makes my
Absolutely
heart
amazing.
so
I have
happy.
chills.
Yeah, it
I
makes my
mean, I
heart
just
so
think what
happy.
y'all are doing is really it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And you know, I just from, experiencing this a little bit, it can be a little thankless to be in y'all's position. And I just want to say, thank you for the work that y'all ladies do, individually. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing this information, because it's just, for some reason, I run into people, they don't know that help is so available.
And thank you just for the platform and the opportunity to share what it is that we do, that we have
Absolutely.
passion for, and that we're here for the community. And before we leave, I would just like to provide our telephone number.
Yes, please. I'm going to write it in our comments as well. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is for any of our outpatient centers, Lawrenceville, Norcross, Newton, or Rockdale. They can call 678
Mm-hmm.
209 2411.
Beautiful. And they'll be routed to where they need.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
That's a central number, and they will route them to which center is closest to their address. And then one other number is a general number. So that's us for Viewpoint Health. But I also want to just share that. So for Georgia, we have the Georgia Crisis and Access Line,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline. And it can also, if there's a resource that we may not have or that is not available in the county,
Right.
Georgia Crisis Access Line, or what we call GCAL, can route them to a provider that may have that resource. And that number is 1-800-715-4225.
Beautiful.
And also, I'll
Fantastic.
say, because I've used this myself for my daughter, when they assess you, they could provide immediate, like, on-site crisis, like a mobile crisis unit can
The
come out to
GCAL,
your home. And
That's
then,
correct.
and I, that was kind of a turning point for us. I really appreciated that they, and the two people that came out were just super down to earth, and it was a blessing,
Absolutely.
to not have to, because sometimes you can't get the child or the person in the car to get to the place that they need to go to.
Right,
And you're
right.
like, what do you want me to do? I can't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that was, that's another facet that is very appreciated.
So beautiful.
Before we leave, we just want to make sure that your listeners are hearing that. Please just take the step just to reach out to someone. There are a lot of services that are available. You just need to take the first step. Either call one of those numbers or contact you all, and you'll get them linked up with us or someone else. And just know, just the hardest part is just taking that first step, and there will be someone there waiting for them and help them along their recovery path.
Absolutely.
And thank you all again.
Yes, thank you. And I can speak from experience that, some of the most kind-hearted, professional, selfless people are at these facilities just waiting to help. They want to help. So, so thank you, ladies, so much. I'm going to
Thank
actually,
you.
is it myviewpointhealth.org?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's www.myviewpointhealth.org.
Beautiful. And if you want any more information about that, you can go there anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
all again.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate it.
Thank you
Have
so
a good
much.
one. Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
There's help
That
out
was-
there.
Yes.
I mean, there is, and it's so hard. And I think that's what was overwhelming for me, is that resources aren't very centralized, and you don't know who to call for what.
Exactly. Right.
And so, and like I said before, just we were having so many different challenges that I was
Mhm.
like, I don't know what to do. But it sounds like with what Viewpoint, and like I said, there were things with, we went to Viewpoint, and there's holes in everything, right? We're
Mhm.
always trying to make things better, but it sounds like they're putting, kind of filling the gaps, and
Yes. I mean,
they
they're
were talking about
constantly
employment,
right
and
trying to
getting.
improve. Yes.
So getting individuals connected with what they need in the society.
Mhm.
And that's so important, because usually if you're dealing with something in mental health, it's not just, that's taken over your life. So it's affecting, you may have lost employment because of your mental health situation.
Right.
Maybe you lost your kids. Maybe you're battling an addiction because of your mental health. I mean, there's so many pieces.
There's so many. I mean,
Um,
and just the compassion, that they have to it's sometimes it just blows my mind, that people do this. Somebody saw a need and just said, yes, I want to help these people.
I'll do it.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like, the mental health and substance abuse, we're like kind of sometimes the forgotten people,
Mhm.
just,
Nobody wants to deal with it.
and plus you can just say that they're crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
like an excuse to just disregard them. They're crazy. And I hate that. I hate that,
It
sometimes our
only
society
adds fuel to the fire. It only
Right.
makes someone,
feel
when,
less and less and less about
and
themselves.
so they start to own that
Right,
identity. Well, I guess
exactly.
I am crazy.
Which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do. We're divine,
Mhm.
creatures. We're from a heavenly Father.
He didn't make a mistake when he
Not
created
even
any one of us.
any of us. I never think that.
No,
Never think that.
you definitely shouldn't think that. And that's, those resources, I hate that they have to be there. I hate that we have to have institutions like this because that's not how it was meant to be.
Mhm.
I'm super thankful for them, but, kind of getting back to the whole bullying piece of it,
Yeah.
that's one more hole in the bucket, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
I loved that analogy. That's what what Kaylee's doctor used to describe her on Monday was
Yeah.
that they just keep putting water into a bucket full of holes, and and that's what we're becoming. That's what I don't understand. We know these problems are here, right? We know that they're here, but we keep doing things to make them worse and worse and worse.
Exactly.
We've got it inside of us, to make that change and to make things different. Is it a daunting task to accept? Yes. Believe
Absolutely.
me. I wish that I could do something that paid me money, but this is not what God has called me to do. He has called me to do something extraordinary and to be a game changer and
Mhm.
to love on people and be that place of acceptance and understanding.
Right.
And you've got that needs to be the new virus that we spread. That needs
Mhm.
to be the contagion that we have. Not the evil, not the diseases, not the
Right.
let's spread the virus of
Love.
kindness and
Yeah.
love. Sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, who are you? Y'all, like this, and just when you get to that, and I was listening to this podcast I'm addicted to about gut health, but it has everything to do with, happiness and depression and
Yes.
all of it. And it was just, it's things that we are born happy. We're born
Absolutely.
that
And,
way.
babies. I'm so fascinated with babies. You know what I mean?
Me
Because
too.
they just come out. They, when they want something, they cry.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not afraid to ask for what they need and what they want. When they're hungry, they're just so simple. They're so simple and beautiful, and they have everything. They
They're
just
always smiling, unless
always
one of their needs aren't being met. And
exactly.
that's if I'm hungry, then I'm not in a great
Right.
mood.
But they already come with like their own language to even express.
Yes, yeah,
Crying. Oh,
it's very basic.
it
I mean, we've
is,
made it so complicated
and it's
that
just not hard.
it's so simple to me when I sit
Mhm.
down and think about it, and I think, how did we get here? How we breed so much hate? I don't.
So much, and it's and you look at things too, like I have a problem with just the news because it is so negative,
I don't
and
watch it.
I don't either at all. I actually kind of refuse.
I try to get I want to stay in the know, so I'll get knowledgeable bits from
Right.
here and there. But I listen to more than one side of
Exactly.
the coin too.
Exactly. And you think about the news is, and I'm going down a rabbit hole, but the news doesn't make any money. Okay. They're just reporting on a story that doesn't generate any money. They have to get their money through advertising,
Mhm.
so they have to make you want to watch it. So they have to create drama, right? So it's really a soap opera. How much of the news are we even trusting that is being, because they have to make you want to watch it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. When I think about it like that, it really pulls me back. And, I'd like to come from a place of discernment and in all my affairs, everything.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so open-minded and I'm so receptive, even to people that I don't agree with. Like, I'd love to listen to you. Please change my mind. I'd love to
Right.
be enlightened in some way. Um, I think we get so close-minded and my way or the highway type mentality that you're missing so much doing that.
Absolutely.
You really are. And we will rabbit hole and rabbit hole and rabbit hole. So I'm going to try to rein us back in because that's just who we are.
What time is
Um,
Miss Tina Lynn
She'll be
calling?
calling in just a few minutes, Tina.
Awesome.
She's actually commenting.
Yes.
So I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'd love for you to call in, Tina. You know, bullying. How does bullying affect your health and well being? it happens in the short term, which is your immediate, like how it makes you feel at that particular moment. And then, later in life, it can lead to, physical injury, social problems, emotional problems, and then suicide,
Mhm.
People that are bullied have that increased risk for mental health problems. In this study that I've been reading, it's also, headaches, problems adjusting to school,
Right. I'm
long-term
just reading
damage to
that.
your self-esteem.
Mhm.
And then of course you are at an increased risk for substance abuse, academic problems, and then violence to others because, you're going to give out what you've been given.
Exactly. And I'm even looking here and it talks about, you know, eating disorders,
Sure. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God. And I've had it all, you know what I mean? Like I've gone through everything that you really can in hopes to pleasing some outside entity, I guess,
Yeah.
that wasn't myself, you know?
Yeah. I think about some of the
Mhm.
things that I've done to please others, and I think
Yeah.
that is not who you are.
I mean, I used to take like this is whatever, I'm just gonna say it. I used to take, like laxatives to
Right.
be skinny.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh, the worst. And
And
I
I
didn't
think,
do it a lot because I was like, there's gotta be an easier way.
and I've tried that other stuff like caffeine pills,
Yes,
hydroxycut.
stackers.
Y'all, okay. I'm going to share something that's really embarrassing. I even went to such a warped like image of myself. I went
Mhm.
to a diet clinic once
Yeah.
and got on a prescription diet pill and got B12 injections because and I was working out like you wouldn't believe 2 and 3 times a day, eating a staunch. I was doing that stuff before, but I was looking at myself and just it was never good enough. And this
Right.
was in my early 30s.
You are so beautiful.
Thank you. I know that now. I know that now. But it's a sad place to be when how you view yourself or how others have made you feel. I have the nervous habit, like I'm doing something that's making because I'm
I know, I'm
nervous
trying
that
to always
that I just shared something. That's a very raw
Aw.
thing. I don't think I've ever said that to anyone, and I just told you all.
Aw. Well,
Um,
good. Somebody needs to hear it.
and I would go in and I would get these B12 shots and it would, I'd have all this energy and these diet pills gave me so much energy. But what am I doing to my insides,
Right.
Just because of somehow, like, because I chose to have the wrong people in my life, the toxic people in my life who told me that I was unworthy. Um, why did I do that to myself?
Mhm.
And it brings tears to my eyes because I think how I look at myself now and, I just want to go back and hug her and say, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry
You
that
should
you
do
felt
that.
that way. I do in my mind
Yeah.
all the time. All the
And
time.
another thing I was just thinking about this is even like this bullying and everything and just my childhood in general and how I treated myself and listened to this story about myself. That trained me for the rest of my life to choose partners like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The
I
narcissist
it-
disguised in
yes.
so many different
Yes.
forms that you couldn't
And
see that they were a narcissist.
exactly. And I was talking about this last night with a friend, and I was like, I literally was trained to love a certain type of person. I almost didn't have any other choice then because I couldn't accept things like actual real love. And I was thinking about it this other day. I'm like, I have never experienced it.
Yeah. Y'all didn't hear that part. And I can say that too. Like I've like loved people because they expressed that interest in me. And this is a whole other show we need to do.
It
this
is. We're
whole other
gonna
show,
do
so
it too. We're
not
gonna do
gonna
it.
touch on this lightly, but just knowing that like and when I looked back at it, it was this very false feeling. It was just because someone was showing me that
Exactly.
attention.
And I had to push it. It was like I would
Make myself.
Yes, I
would
was
make
pushing
excuses
myself
for like
for
stuff.
every red flag.
Yeah. Y'all, this is a whole show.
I'm like,
That's
he
gonna
just
be
called
a
me a
deep
bitch.
one.
Oh, it's
okay.
because he's tired,
He's
Christina.
just tired. He loves me.
Loves me.
He's gonna take me out to dinner or
That's why he
something.
tried to, that's why he put me in a chokehold.
Right.
It's fine.
He pushed me down the stairs. He loves me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A little heavy, but
That's way heavy.
okay, we're going to get to it in a later date.
Yes. That's been brewing in our brains.
Yes.
And I think it's gonna be we just really have to talk about it some more because it's gonna be a deep and a really hard one for us to be that
yeah.
raw.
And transparent.
And because I'm
Yeah.
all about being transparent with you guys, you need to hear it. And I think that there's a lot of you that would relate to our stories, and it may encourage you to change the way that you think too.
Exactly. And what you accept.
Yes, what you tolerate from other people,
Mm.
what you put up with. There are things that are unacceptable, truly unacceptable, and that should be a standard for everyone. Anyone that degrades you verbally or is physically abusive to you or manipulates your mind,
Mm-hmm.
that one is almost the worst of them all.
Yes.
You know,
The manipulation of your mind. Yes. And I was in a narcissistic relationship for a very, very long time. And one of the things that just kept me there really was I was constantly being told that I was crazy. And I was just believing this, like this story, and everything that I knew to be true was constantly being told to me that it wasn't true. It couldn't be true. And it was not. Those moments that,
it's a lot of recovery. That's a whole recovery program
it
in
really
itself.
is.
I think
It
that,
really is. You
do
you
they
have to
have that?
reprogram. They do.
Narcissism recovery.
They do.
Recovery for really?
Yes, absolutely. Narcissistic abuse is it now like a recognized
I did not
like
know that.
mental, I don't know about mental health, but mental health issue, because your thinking was changed systematically. Okay.
Right.
That goes with bullying.
Right. It does.
It does.
Hey,
Hey.
Tina.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
It's been a long week. I'm so thankful to be on. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited and nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous at all.
Don't be nervous. We're all family and friends here going through the same things that you are, and it's important for us to share people's messages who have been through the storm and are trying to recover from it and make it better for other people. So if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about Alex Michael and kind of what led you to start the Alex Michael Foundation.
Well, he is 20 now. It's been a very long 20, but very thankful that he made it to 20, to be honest. He has a traumatic brain injury as well as autism and several other, bipolar disorder and anxiety, and they've probably labeled a million different things. But it's just been a very hard road throughout his entire life. He was born premature, and that kind of, led down a hard road from jump. But then due to be super transparent and not to hopefully bring up wounds for anyone else, but maybe help someone else, he was sexually abused by a family member. And I was in the midst of fighting a very severe battle with a domestic violence situation myself, and I entrusted a relative basically to take care of my children. And they took my son's innocence. And that sent him down a very rough road of being very withdrawn, very angry. But because of his autism and traumatic brain injury, he did not know how to vocalize even what was happening to him, let alone how he felt about it. For many years, I still to this day wondered. They were in a car accident with my mother in 2005, and he had a head injury, and my older son was severely injured. But 3 days after the accident, Alex started to remember about a monster being in his bedroom in the middle of the night. And
oh my gosh!
From that, he ended up in a mental hospital because he went after my older son with a knife. And my older son was actually in a wheelchair at the time. And from that, of course, I get a phone call, you guys, to be super honest. And I don't want to take up all the time with that because, so many other people need to talk as well. But basically, I get a phone call from a social worker, I need to come to the hospital. They need to talk to me. And I get told that my son had been sexually abused by my aunt's husband. And my world crumbled. I already had a child, 2 sons, and I had a child with a mental illness and a disability. Life was already hard enough for him to begin with without adding this onto it.
Right.
But from jump, they crucified me more than they did the gentleman. I can't say gentleman, more than they did the man who did that to my children. Because I was a single mother in a biracial relationship. I had my own depression and anxiety issues. I lived in the projects, and I was judged from jump. And
They already
they
tagged
never
you.
even arrested. Yeah, they never even arrested the man because he had family that were prominent in the community. And he passed a lie detector test, basically didn't even miss one question. The detective even said in his 40-something years of being a detective that he had never seen someone pass it so honestly.
You know what? That should raise a red flag.
That raises a huge red
Oh,
flag.
he said that within itself wasn't an honest answer, but there was nothing he could do because he was told to close the case. And that kind of sent Alex down a really bad spiral of a lot of anger, being very abusive to me, hitting me. I've had black eyes. I've had busted mouth. He's, we've had one-on-one workers. We've had therapists in the home, social workers. We've had, they've wanted me to place him numerous times and put him in foster care, and I felt like I was giving up on him if I did. And now that I've met you, Christine, I'm seeing like maybe I would have helped him more had I said I've dropped the ball here and I allowed him to get that help, But instead, I was so insistent on God gave him to me to take care of. I have to fix this, and I don't necessarily know if I did it in the right way because it opened my son up to be a bully magnet, and he, from jump, was in special needs classes at school, resource classes, whatever you want to call it, and was constantly picked on. He would have, his tray dumped on his lap, thrown out, whatever, and then he would have people put Post-it notes. I'll never forget. In 4th grade, he had Post-it notes put on his back that said, "Kick me, I'm a faggot."
Mm-hmm.
And he came home from school, got off the bus, and the bus was a torture for him. So 4th grade was the end of him riding the bus. And mind you, you've seen him, Christine. You've met him and hugged him, and he's a big guy now. But imagine, like, barely 60 pounds, 4'8", and itty bitty, and this big old afro. He was a target, and he got off the school bus, and he didn't even know, y'all, that the Post-it notes were on his back. I noticed them because he had footprints all over his back and his shorts.
Oh.
So from that, I started going to the schools, and I'm missing work at this point. I'm getting called to schools for meetings because he's flipping chairs and tables, and he's angry, and he's breaking things, and he's saying things that are inappropriate. And he's going to the bathroom and staying for longer than, he's supposed to be. And when they're doing work, he says he keeps having to go to the bathroom. But, it was he didn't understand the work, and he was so anxiety-ridden that he kept taking himself to the bathroom to get away from all of that.
Right.
Instead of being targeted more because they were making fun of him. So at the end of 4th grade, he was actually assaulted and was put in an ambulance and sent to the ER without me even being called. One of the teachers actually was a summer camp counselor for him at the Jewish Community Center. And she actually got her own personal cell phone out of her bag and went in the bathroom and called me at work. I worked for a government office at the time, and let me know what had happened, and that he had been assaulted in the bathroom by 3 boys, and that they were on the way to the hospital. And she ended up being transferred to a different school because she went against what the principal said, and by calling me. And so I'm fighting the school. I'm fighting the school board. I went to the news. And, for years I've done a lot of advocacy for domestic violence and sexual assault because I've been a victim of those. And then my own children's sexual abuse. And then to turn around and my son become a magnet of bullying just infuriated and fueled me even more. And so then we get to middle school and it just proceedingly gets worse. And it's almost an everyday, couple of times a week thing. I've lost my job at this point. My car got repoed. I mean, it just was a lot. And I'm screaming for these people to hear my son's cries and that he's not just bad. He's not angry. He's not a juvenile delinquent. He's not, all these labels that they're wanting to give these young men these days, especially, I hate to say it, but biracial men or men of color. Like, I just was so against, you're not going to label my son. I'm begging you to help him. And I have been for years, but you're sweeping him under the rug and you're wanting to put him in a classroom or send him off rather than deal with the problem at hand. Mm-hmm. And it got to even be where there were some teachers that were even bullied, but are being bullied because they didn't want to deal with him. So they would basically give him coloring books and crayons or let him play on the computer rather than actually do his work. And they were passing him through the grades, you guys, to keep from dealing with him. And then his ninth grade year came, and he was assaulted severely. And I actually went to the school board, went to the principal for like the 15th time that year. My older son almost didn't get to graduate and walk the stage because he got into it with the boy who assaulted his little brother. And they were like, had you put your hands on him, you wouldn't walk the stage. So they were more worried about protecting the other person than they were Alex. And the resource officer tried everything under his skin to stand up for my son, and it's the school board. That's where the problem is. It's really the school board. And so
they're not
basically, long story
equipped
short,
to know how to deal with
No.
children like that. And so they just,
absolutely not.
rather than try to address it, they
Right.
just sort of, that's why they keep, same thing with
Easier to
Kaylee.
say
Just,
he's the problem, or
he's the
this one,
problem.
you're bringing it on yourself, or something like that, instead
to
of
fix it.
addressing.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were told numerous times that, he needed to quit being a pansy. He needed to suck it up. He needed to be a boy. Men don't do this. Quit calling your mama. And then his sophomore year, it was really, really bad. And it just kept getting worse. And I kept going to school and going to school and going to school and going to school. And to the point where they were like, we're going to have you banned from the property if you don't stop. But I was fighting for my child. My kid was coming home telling me that he would rather die than go to school. And I knew that, yes, they had online schooling, but Alex, with his struggles, is not focused enough to sit in front of the laptop every day and do work himself. And honestly, you guys, I'm not smart enough to do the math.
I hear that.
Not now's math. I don't know.
I couldn't do math
It's just
then either.
not my forte. He would have been in worse shape than he already was. But I'll never forget the day that morning he guys, like, he had picked little places in his skin where he had picked his skin so much in his nail bed because of his anxiety. And it had started sleeting, and my boss, who never let us leave early, was like, Tina, I think I'm going to close the office early and get home. This ice looks like it's getting pretty bad. Well, that wasn't her. That was God. Because I got home. I didn't stop by the store or anything, which, that's normally what as a mom you do.
Right.
When the weather's getting bad, I went straight home, and I was going to get him and take him with me, and he hates going to the store. But I just went home, and it was weird because I heard music upstairs, and I was just like, okay, he's jamming. Maybe he's had a rough day. And I start to go up the stairs, and I hear something flip over. And I thought, sorry, I've told this a million times, and I still get choked up.
Okay.
I thought that he had possibly had a seizure and fell. So I go running up the stairs and found my son kicking over the chair to hang himself.
Oh, my God.
And at that moment, it became horrifyingly real that something has to be done. And he would have been the 7th teenager in high school to commit suicide that semester.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my Lord.
Under 17 years old. And, I got him down, and I'm just holding him in the floor, and I'm crying, and I'm begging God, like, why? I don't understand. Help me. And he's just crying that, they told him he was a freak of nature and that he didn't deserve to be here. And it ended, he went to the hospital, and we had to do all of that and therapy, but it ended up coming out, long story short, that 3 boys in the locker room tied their T-shirts together and gave them to my son to hang himself.
They told him to go
And they
home
showed him
and do
how
that.
to do it.
They told him what to
And
do.
they showed him how to do it. Yeah, they showed him how to do it. And told him to make sure how to kick over the chair once he was done. They literally taught my son how to hang himself. Had my boss not let me come home early that day, you would have never met me or Alex, And it started something that has fueled into something so much larger. So a few months after that, counseling and everything, Alex comes to me really late at night, and I'm doing homework, and I'm frustrated, anatomy problems. And he says, Mom, I want to start a foundation. And I'm like, a foundation? Alex, it's 10:30 at night. Go to bed, honey. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Right.
And he had this whole list. Yeah, you don't tell a bipolar child with you just don't. You don't tell them to wait. He had this whole list, like his mama. I'm a list person. He had this whole list of things that he wanted to do in this foundation. And it was to work with kids, teenagers, young adults that have been bullied or mistreated or abused or sexually abused or even just misunderstood. And help them, give them support. He, so now it's grown into he has a whole full-fledged Tax ID foundation, and he does support groups. I talk to the adults and the teachers and administrators and resource officers, and he talks to the kids and the teenagers. And he's doing a thing called Teen Talk and then Kids Chat. So Teen Talk is middle school, high school, and Kids Chat elementary. And then he started a tutoring group. He's even started a clothing line, and it's T-shirts and hoodies and jogging suits and little cups and car decals with his logo on it and different, affirmations about kindness and acceptance and bullying. And he's actually we're hoping to open funding, if God makes a way. We're hoping to open officially November 1st, if not sooner, kind of like a small center where, they can come, they can hang out, they can have a safe space, they can get tutoring on homework or whatever, have a washer dryer, a clothing closet, maybe a little small food pantry. But he's developed, he's drawn a coloring book for elementary school kids to talk about safe feelings and unsafe feelings.
That. It's amazing.
Thank you. And accepting others that may look different than you. And he's developing a skit because he's super creative. And he's developed a skit that he's going to do with elementary school kids and hopefully maybe progress. But, teenagers don't really want to do some of this stuff. But the elementary school kids think he's the coolest thing ever.
Beautiful.
Because he's like a big brother to them. And so, but it's kind of about bullying and hurting people's feelings. And, if there's a kid sitting on lunch by themselves, go sit with them. If there's somebody on the playground by themselves, go hang out with them. And so we started a small fund where, if, there's kids that are in our program. We have 15 right now that are under 17 that we help service and do stuff for. And we've done back to school drives for the past 3 years, and we've done anywhere from 25 book bags and school supplies to 110. And then we've also done Christmas drives. So basically, we reach out to the kids that are in our program and their siblings, and we cover those expenses for them. We don't give the parents money, but we do the gifts, or we'll take the parents shopping and let them actually pick the things out for their kids.
Beautiful.
Because it's hard, and we all know, we've all been there, whether we want to be transparent and admit it or not. But we've all had a hard time, and it's like someone was just saying a minute ago. It's really hard. I was crying when she was talking. It was hard. None of us want to say we're struggling, and none of us want to say, hey, we're dropping the ball here like our kid. We're doing everything we can, and our kid's struggling. But we feel like if we give these parents the resources, yes, they have to put their first foot forward, but at least the kids know that they have an outlet. And unfortunately, not all kids have that attention at home, or that opportunity. And it may not even be the parent meaning to do it. It may just be life.
Exactly.
But we network with a lot of locals in the community to do events, and we just did a back to school drive a few weeks ago at a nursing home where she opened. It was a friend of mine. She opened it up to the community. We did back to school supplies and such, and then we also have just started as of last week a 24-hour crisis line.
Wow.
But the biggest Thank you. But the biggest thing that Alex is super big working on right now is he has developed very quietly, even without telling his mom, and I thought he told me everything. But he's developed a program to work with the actual kids that are doing the bullying.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, what we were just
Yes.
saying.
And that's why I was crying, you guys, because he said that, last year he ended up, one of the boys that ended up being one of the kids that I just told you about, seen my son's website and started seeing all the people wearing his T-shirts, and he was on the news a couple of times and in the paper and won a school award for the year. The year he graduated, he was like the most nominated senior that's done community service. Walmart gave him an award and a free little laptop. But the kid came to him and he said, Alex, so that's your foundation? And Alex said, yeah, why? And he was like, because I saved Gary pick on him.
Right.
He was like, I'm not going to say his name, but he was like, to boy, he said, I don't have time for you to be messing with me today. I got work to do.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And said boy said, I'm really sorry for what I did to you. I was just trying to be cool. My sister at home has Down syndrome, and my parents have never even attended not one of my football or basketball games my entire high school career.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be accepted.
Oh.
So he was picking on Alex because his friends were, because he was just trying to belong himself.
Right. And it
doesn't make
goes,
it okay.
No, not at all. But, you see that it's
you have
not
more
coming.
understanding,
right,
and compassion for it.
Absolutely. When you can see it from somebody else's, when somebody gives you that reason, why I did this horrible thing, and you, I don't know, it makes me put myself in that position. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only was I bullied, but I was the bully, I was
Exactly.
that person in pain.
Exactly. Well, and like now they're okay. Like he even bought one of Alex's T-shirts and a hoodie and a hat, and like put it on Instagram, and was like, huge shout out to Alex Michael for making a change, even against the ones who ain't so easy to deal with, and put it like a pulling face at itself. But the center is super huge for Alex because he knows. He said to me numerous times, like, Mom, if it wasn't for you and my man, and like he said in Georgia that day, like if it wasn't, and I don't see it that way, but he says, had it not been for me and my mom and his therapist, huge shout out to Amanda Bucci in Asheville, North Carolina, that he didn't have a safe place to go, and he's got an amazing older brother, but my older son is very quiet spoken. He's not emotional. He doesn't want to talk about it. He wants Alex to get over it, stand up for himself, and not have any emotion behind it. And Alex is like I am. I'm a crybaby. Everything hurts my feelings. And I want to understand why people do what they do.
Right.
And so it left my older son kind of really feeling like Alex meant more to him, meant more to me than he did. And even though he played ball all the time.
The other brother. That's what I call Kelsey, the other sister.
Yes, and I was at every game, and I didn't miss them, but, like, if Alex was having a meltdown, like, everyone would see it, and Ty would be embarrassed. But, it's left Alex a place in Alex's heart, and for a long time, Alex has felt like I thought Ty was better than him, or he was the better child, because he didn't have problems.
Right.
Neither of them are perfect, and they both have stuff going on, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's left Alex to where he's like, he wants to open this little office space so like everyone has a safe place to come, and we can have guest speakers come and talk to them. He wants to do like a creative Saturday where like we do arts and crafts, or we do like shirt designs, or like we do photography, or we go out on the town and meet people and do kindness, acts of kindness. He just wants to do all kinds of stuff, and he's really sat down in the past 4 or 5 months and really just bulleted out exactly how he wants it to look. Because now he's an adult, and he's graduated high school. But then there's the other side of, and I'll just be transparent because I'm sure that you guys have probably already been talking about it. Like, he's been doing this for almost 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you've met him, Christine, and, all of that, and heard his, super personal stuff. But now that it's starting to be in the news more prevalently and it's going so viral, it's really hard emotionally for Alex because he's like, Mom, but I've gone through the trenches and I've gone through the painful stuff and I didn't let it break me. And now I'm doing positive and no one's talking about me and my journey or what I'm trying to do. Why won't people help me help everyone else? I want to help everyone.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's because of his autism or his traumatic brain injury. And I'm like, Alex, people have a habit of they see it, it's immediate, and they're on it. You know what I'm saying? For the temporary. And, he doesn't have Facebook himself right now because he took it down because he was getting some backlash from some people that weren't so kind about, his journey. And so now he just has, like, Instagram and then the foundation website and the foundation Facebook page. But I told him, I said, if they only hear your mom talking about it 24/7 on my social media and they don't hear and see you, then it's like it's my thing. It's not yours.
Right.
And people need to hear from you. And I said, and then too, the boy in Tennessee, like he's in 4th grade. So he's a little kid. So it's going to warm the hearts of everyone in the world. He's a little kid versus, a young man that's now 20.
Right.
And so I wish that I could, of course, put him in a bubble and fill him full of support and surround him with support because we honestly don't have what you guys have in Georgia and North Carolina at all. And if we have, it's the best kept hidden secret because I've looked for it and begged for it for years.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot commend you guys enough for what you do there, because I literally had, if I had not had a mom with health issues and my older son's about to have his first baby in December, I would be moving down there, because I want to be part of the force that you guys are doing, because we don't have that here. And I just think that it's more along the lines of, we've really got to meet these kids where they are,
Right.
and give them the forum to really have those conversations, and it be okay however it comes out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whatever it looks like. Because they're hurting, and they're taking their lives because of it. And if we do not open up a dialogue for them to know that, hey, it's okay for you to let it rumble however it looks. We're here, we're listening, you have a safe space, and that's what, Alex's foundation was really kind of birthed from, was his own attempted suicide, and now he's wanting to raise awareness and prevention and education and about, bullying and mental health and acts of kindness and, being the one against the 99, and this center, trying to get the center open is so, we found a space, I've got someone that's like, hey, I've got some office furniture, we'll donate to you guys. I've got somebody like, hey, we've got books, we'll donate to the reading room. I've just got to make it happen. And so if you could just keep us all lifted up for that would be amazingly
definitely
awesome.
will.
Absolutely. Please tell us the website.
I've got it right
let me
here.
what's the website?
It's alexmichaelfoundation.org. And so, and it looks like he even does some speaking engagements. He's got a whole tab for his speaking engagements. There's a way that you can donate. You can purchase these. And we have these shirts, and they're great. We love them. Oh, this is great.
He's actually designed about 10 more shirts that aren't on that website yet, but we were working on updating some stuff the other day, and I had to hurry up and relaunch it today so we would be up for tonight.
And there's resources here for teachers, for parents, for peers, ways to get in touch. If you want to get involved, you can send a message, partnering up maybe with a business to help them with the center, just a donate tab, purchasing a shirt or a hoodie. These are the things that we need more of in communities all across the world.
Absolutely.
The reason it was important for me to have Tina Lynn on today is because this is, in a whole other state, and there's so many of people that are unsung heroes that are doing things in their communities, on a small, what may seem like a smaller scale, but if we have more of these and we're connecting those dots, there's power in numbers, there's power in strength, there's power in kindness. So what you're doing, and I know it's daunting because I'm doing it too, but you have to keep going, and he does too. And it's funny you said that about kind of like the shock value, like why aren't they paying attention now when we're saying like this could be our kid? I'm screaming like either my kid's gonna get taken from me by sex trafficking, or she's gonna commit suicide, or I'm never gonna see her again. And I'm telling you that's what's gonna happen because I have nightmares about it. I know. If we don't make some changes, and nobody listens to you until it's too late.
Until it happens.
And that, therefore, that's what led me, on my mission for Never Too Late. But it's people like us that we are the change makers. We are the people that see it before it happens. And Alex Michaels, his voice is not unheard. Is he there?
He's actually laying down asleep. He's a couple of weeks ago. He's got diagnosed with some heart issues, and so he's not been feeling super great the past 2 days.
Okay.
And we actually had a tree fall on our house and on my car Friday afternoon in a lightning storm. And so I've been getting estimates and out of work all week. So I've been dealing with all that. And it's just really got his anxiety up because literally like it fell on the side of the house because he was like, Mom, can I lay down? And I was like, buddy, I got to call in 20 minutes. He was like, Mom, I really feel yucky. I really need to lay down. I was like, she absolutely
will. When I see her on Sunday, you send our love to Alex and tell him that he's doing big, great things and
to see all the amazing things that he has yet to do.
Well, we will. And if we, get a chance again to come to Georgia, or if you guys need us to fight the good fight, please let us know,
yes,
and I will in one way or the other make it happen. But, it's kind of just ironic. Like, for example, like Christine, like, look how we met, and
right.
I just happened to see where someone shared your journey, and it just literally gut-wrenched me. And I kept bugging you until you finally answered me.
Yeah. I was I was inundated with
Oh,
like messages.
I
I was
can
like, oh my
only
gosh.
imagine how many millions that you had.
Yeah.
So, but just know that, we love and appreciate you guys, and I firmly believe you, and I don't stand behind you. I stand beside you, holding your hand.
Oh, thank you
And
so
I
much.
just, we're not mamas alone in this. And, you just, maybe that'll be our next shirt that we have to, we put your, maybe the talk show, name on the back or whatever. But,
that'd be
never too late, because we're change makers, period.
Right.
Right.
You got to band
Hashtag
together.
change makers.
That's right.
Hashtag change
I'm gonna do
makers.
that.
That's right.
But just, know that we're here for you. And if anybody, needs the toll-free line, it's 1-833-KIND for you. And it's 24 hours a day, and it's manned by me or a therapist. And,
Can you
whatever
say
we
it
can
one
do,
more
we're here.
time? We want to get that.
Yeah,
in the-
1-833-KIND, KIND, the number 4 and the letter U.
Nice.
And Alex
That's
picked that
lovely.
out.
I love that.
So,
I love
but
that.
just know that we support you. We're not behind you. We're right beside you. And I thank you, ladies, so much for having me on. Please know if I can do anything, I
Absolutely.
will.
Absolutely.
It's an epidemic, and it starts at home,
Yeah.
It starts at home.
Absolutely.
It does.
And
I agree.
I appreciate you beautiful ladies so much for having me on, and I hope you have a beautiful
You
day.
too.
We hope
We
so
appre-
too. Thank you so much.
We
Thank you
appreciate
for
you
your
too.
story, and thank Alex.
Yes. Thank Alex.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye.
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 It's like she just says all the things that I've been saying and more, and those are the things that's so important to highlight, that to hear such tragedy in a story and see the glory of God, of
Exactly.
the glory come from the
The
other side,
redemption.
even still facing all the challenges that they're facing,
Right.
still
The
going through
challenges don't
the mud.
end.
No, it's the
Your
way that you
reaction to
perceive
them.
them and how you
Mhm.
deal with them on the other side that makes all of the difference.
It's getting through that challenge that it makes the next challenge easier and easier and easier,
Mhm.
because you've like, well, I've been through way worse than this.
right. This is nothing.
This is nothing.
Absolutely.
hmm
Absolutely.
Wow.
Whew.
Oh my goodness, that was
Well, we wanted to. I
the
know
story.
it's my
My
heart, and I
God.
knew. I was like, either I'm gonna cry, she's gonna cry. One of us we're gonna
We're
cry.
gonna cry. I cried earlier, so
Fine. It's healing in tears.
absolutely.
So we just wanted to kind of shout out some different events going on in
Yes.
the area. Of course, mental health related. Here in on the square in downtown Covington is Sounds of Support. So Newton Rockdale Suicide Prevention Coalition is sponsoring or presenting that. It's a free.
Saturday.
It's
Saturday?
Friday,
27th.
September 27th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And it is sponsored by Zero Suicide, Viewpoint Health, and I think it's Hurricane Maine, Give Life a Chance. And so it's free community concert. It's going to have performers of all ages sharing multiple genres of music, dance, and poetry. So I love that because I'm a huge advocate of music. I think it's just our universal language. It's how we can speak to each other. It's how who can be upset when you're sharing music together outside on a beautiful
Friday.
yeah. I mean, it's wonderful. So
Absolutely.
I love that their little tagline is "Live to Give, Aspire to Inspire."
Love that.
So check that out on the Downtown Covington Square, and that will be the day after my support group, Never Too Late at the Covington Women's Club. So those are two upcoming events that I know of just locally, and I believe that the Hawks are doing something. I saw it. It came across something they were doing for suicide prevention, and I meant to tag it, so I could share it with you guys, but I don't know where it went. So
We'll find
anyway, we'll find it next Tuesday.
it. Okay. We will find it
We will
and let
find
you
it.
know.
Ah,
Beautiful. Yes. And then we also have tomorrow is our friend Ricky Davis. He's putting on a beautiful concert for the recovery
Yes.
community. It's going to be 8:00 p.m. You can get the tickets at ueentertainment.net. And I'm just going to put that in the comments. And you can go grab yourself a ticket. They're only $10. Might as well.
Right?
A Just Us production. I love that.
Just us.
Just
Pretty good $10 to spend.
Yes, for a very worthy cause and have some fun for yourself. And so that's going to be
Good,
awesome.
clean fun.
Yes. So next week we have some powerful guests. It's going to be, I'm really, really excited. So we're going to have Aaron
Who?
Lane. He is actually a DJ. He's on iHeartRadio in Cincinnati, a Cincinnati station.
Oh, very cool.
And he is in recovery, and he started what did I say?
Podcast. A podcast.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes I can't speak.
A podcast called Triumph, From Tragedy to Triumph. I think it's just Tragedy to Triumph, but it's absolutely amazing. He speaks to people in recovery who have made it through, and they tell their story, and it is riveting. I can't stop listening lately, but he's going to be on.
Exciting.
That's
love
going to
it.
be amazing. Yes,
Yes.
so that's going to be Tuesday. I can't wait to talk to him.
Yay for Tuesday.
Yay.
It's really like the highlight of my week.
It really, me too, boo.
I love getting on here and talking about the hard stuff that
Yeah.
ends up, we somehow turn it into something beautiful, you know?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Let me just.
We got to have more of this. We got to have more change makers, more people putting into action, you know, not just using words. And, you know, we have to be the action doers, the doers.
Yes, be the change.
Be the change.
Be the change you wish to see. Yeah. So, I mean, I just love coming in here and speaking and, you know, being able to love on everybody. It's amazing. And hearing these stories and knowing
Mhm.
how important things are in the world, and somebody's out there doing something about it. You know what I mean? Like when I was a
Mhm.
kid, you put up with the bullying
Right.
in the 80s and 90s. You know,
Right.
you had to deal with it. It's, you know, you couldn't tattle because it was called tattletaling then.
What I said.
Yeah.
Snitches get stitches.
Right, and
And,
you
end
couldn't
up in
do it.
ditches.
And so, you know, I remember too, just so many people, you know, it was just crazy. It was just crazy, you know, like everybody, I had this group of girlfriends, and it was like every week somebody was on the outs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was funny because when it became my turn, I was like, I will never, ever treat anybody else this way as
Mhm.
they're treating me now. And I just went ahead, and you know, after a week, you got to be friends with them again. And I was like, no thanks. Deuces, ladies. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go find some real friends.
Right.
And you know, that was a beautiful learning lesson. So that's what I'm saying. Like I was the bully, and I was the target too. And man, that was a lonely place, you know, when all your friends turn on you and just hate you out of nowhere. I mean, this is in middle school, but
Mhm.
I decided right then and there, I was like, that's not me. That's not who I want to be. I was just doing it to fit in anyway.
Right.
You know?
Like, that's not even who I am.
Yeah.
So you got rid of a
So,
fake person.
Exactly.
Just to kind of close us out, you know, I need to reiterate to you that suicide is a leading cause of death in the U.S. alone.
The leading cause in certain age groups.
Yeah, in certain age groups, it absolutely is. And these statistics are higher now, but just in 2017, it was the 10th leading cause of death overall in the United States, claiming the lives of over 47,000 people. It was the second leading cause of death among individuals between the ages of 10 years old, you guys, and 34. The fourth leading cause of death among individuals between the ages of 35 and 54. There were more than twice as many suicides, 47,173 in the U.S., as there were homicides, which were only 19,510. I cannot accept that. I cannot accept that my fellow humans don't see enough value in their lives, and that they choose to take what God gave them as the greatest gift. And that, you know, stemming from addiction, bullying,
Right.
mental health, you know, untreated mental health. And I am delving. I keep myself up at night just really going into the research of healing our bodies from the inside out, and why this is happening. And it just goes straight back to basics, you guys. It's not hard stuff. It's really what we were created from, you
Right.
know. And we've got to find a way to get it back to that. We've got to band together and and take back our lives.
Mhm.
It's that serious.
And, I think we just need like a call to action right now. I think, it's just been put on my heart that everybody's just right now, if you're listening to this or if you're listening later, just in this moment, call somebody. Call somebody and just say, hey, I love you. I hope you're
Mhm.
okay. The first person you think of, that's probably who needs it.
I did that today. I
Yeah.
called my mom today. And I'm always like, Mom, I'm sorry. I got, and I can't, I don't have much time to talk because I'm so busy. But it was, and I respond to that. When God says for me to do something,
Do it.
I do it immediately. And like I say, if I say that I'm praying for you, I'm stopping right there. Sometimes I will pull my car over.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens and I need to do that, I will.
Absolutely.
That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do to love on each other.
And let me just, we'll give out that crisis line again.
There's
George.
also, I think we should also put the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Yes.
So this is, and it's available 24 hours, 7 days a week too, and it's available to anyone, and all of them, all calls are confidential. There's a website, suicidepreventionlifeline.org, but the number, if you suspect someone is going to commit suicide, they're ideating it, they're attempting it, and you don't know what to do, it's
Right.
1-800-273-TALK, so 8255. And we'll put that in the comments.
And
But
then the Georgia Crisis and Access line is 1-800-715-4225. And that's also 24/7. You can call that. And it's, some of these places, like you're going to speak to somebody who has been there. You know what I mean? You're
yes.
going to speak to like a compassionate person. So
I will
feel
say this:
free.
we are moving in that direction.
Yes.
I think government and officials are starting to realize the importance of peer experience,
Mhm.
people that are the lived experience, and how much more important and vital that can
Right.
be in saving lives and changing lives than professional.
Yep. And there's also the CARES warm line. You can call or text every day between 8:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. It's 1-844-326-5400. And that is specific for recovery. Although you can call for anything. They're not going to turn you away. And that is, you're going to speak to a certified recovery specialist. So somebody with lived experience and, wanting to help. You can also go to the website, Georgia Council of Substance Abuse. I mean, there's so many. I'm actually really impressed ever since, at first I always thought that there's not enough resources. There's not enough resources. Well, there's not enough advertising of the actual
That's what I say,
resources
and
that we
it's
have,
so hard to figure out what it's just they're
because,
right.
yes, and it's funny because that's how I found recovery, through Google. I Googled free rehab.
Yeah,
Because I didn't have any money and I needed help. And I
Yeah.
Googled free rehab
of course.
and it Narcotics Anonymous came up. And I decided, hey, I'm going to go to a meeting. I went to one meeting and I was actually bringing somebody. It wasn't really for me at the time,
Right.
And I sat there and I heard my story and I heard my struggle and I heard my salvation. And it changed my life completely. I'm not going to say that life got really great after that. It actually got a lot worse. But sometimes it has to get worse to get better. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's those moments that led you, the stepping stones that get you to where you need to go.
I found something that I could go back to no matter what.
Right.
And that's what I take with me from
And if
that.
you're in those moments, like I hope that you're hearing that. If you're thinking
Mhm.
that something is that has happened, is just like discussing, me getting the DUI, and then I think it was Larissa. Was it Larissa that I don't remember? My brain gets so overwhelmed.
I've had a lot
But
of
it
guests.
was we have, but and I think they've all spoken to that.
Yeah.
That those moments. I think where she had the vodka bottle, and where she was talking about
Allie.
Allie.
Oh, no. That was yesterday.
Bless
That
us.
was Tuesday with
What day is
Heather.
it? Heather. What's your
Yeah,
name?
where she would hide the vodka bottles.
Yeah, and
Yes,
just
yes.
though. But I think that last time that she did it,
Yeah.
and then that was it.
Yep.
She'd been in recovery, and so those moments are what make you.
Exactly.
They don't break you. It feels like they're breaking you in that time, but
But that's what
they're shaping you
exactly.
for sure. Absolutely. So we are getting prepared for next week.
Yes, we're gonna have a great week. We're gonna speak with Aaron on Monday or Tuesday.
Listen, we don't know what day it
judge
is.
me.
So one of the days.
One of the days.
A
Gonna be
day that
good
ends
day.
with a day.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. All right. Well, we love you guys.
We love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please like and share the show, and
Yes.
we will see you next time. Much love.
Bye.
It's 2018, y'all. Don't you know smoking's bad for you? You need to go check out my buddies down there at Raging Vapors. They're located in Loganville and as well as in Grayson. They have a very clean establishment, and trust me, if I'm going to put some of that stuff to my lungs, I think that's the way to go, right? It's 2018. Aren't we smarter? Smoking is not cool anymore, y'all. Raging Vapors is a very nice place. They mix up their own vapes. They are regulated by the government. The place is super clean. Raging Vapors is the place to go. Do it the right way and see the right people. And I believe Raging Vapors are the right people.
Mike, we're the only ones.
Hey everyone, this is Redneck Step. Have you heard
She
about
goes, "But it
Unique
was
Funding?
supposed to
They're
sit
in the
here."
business
I
to
went,
help people get out of those
"Yeah, we'll
high-interest
just have to
title
make it."
pond. It's sad how many people have been put in this position.
Too late
I
now.
myself have fallen victim to this. If you currently have a title pond and you're not happy with your interest rate, then Unique is who you need. They are paying off high interest rate loans and rewriting theirs at a much lower interest rate. Everyone hates to see someone struggle financially.